Now, as economists, we always look at total surplus. So we just look at value minus cost, which is obviously 10 for method 1 and 6 for method 2. Okay, 10 is bigger than 6. So method 1 is more productive. We would actually like that to be the way we do the musical evening. Now, what I want to do is I want to compare two organizational forms. The first one is we fix the price of the good, which is the singing services, in advance, and we make you an independent contractor. That's what we're going to call it. Call you an independent contractor. I hope this language makes some sense. This is a market exchange. What it means is that you're like a singing company, and I recruit you, I hire you to come and provide musical services for me for that evening. It would be like a catering company, you know, where you come and cater the event. And it's just a market transaction where we agree on how much I'm going to pay you. And then, and I think this is where this is where the sort of analysis comes in, I'm going to take the view that if we set it up that way, you get to choose the details of how the good is supplied. So I think this is what people normally mean by independent contracting, that an independent contractor has control over the way he or she produces the good. So, you know, you hire someone to do something, and to the extent that the contract didn't say how it's going to be done, the contractor gets to choose that. Okay, so in this case, because I want to assume that the contract was silent about the method of production, because we couldn't think ahead of time about these choices, or we couldn't put names to them. So ex post, when we get to this point where the method has to be chosen, you will have the right to choose it. Okay, I think this is the common. This is lawyers would agree that that's what independent contracting means. Now, which method will you choose? Okay, well, if we fix the price, which I'm assuming we have way back at date 0, and now you get to this point that you have a choice between method 1 and method 2, I think it's pretty clear which method you're going to choose. You will choose method 2 because it's cheaper for you. Okay, I'm assuming people are self-interested here, so you're getting the same price whichever method you choose, and method 2 only costs you 8 as opposed to 10. So that's what you will do. Now, how do I feel about that? Well, and here I'm just very much, I'm going to mechanically apply the contracts as reference points idea. According to that idea, the contract says either method could be chosen. You choose method 2. I feel that I would have liked you to choose method 1 because that's much better for me. So I'm aggrieved. Okay, the way agreement is measured, this is just making the same assumption. I look at the best outcome for me versus what I actually got, and I compare the difference in my payouts. Now, I'm getting method 2, so I'm only getting 14. But if you'd be nice to me, I would have got method 1 and I would have got 20. So I've lost 6, 20 minus 14, because of what you did. Which means I shade, I hit back at you, I punish you by 6 theta. Remember that? Okay, when I'm aggrieved by 1, I hurt you by theta. If I'm aggrieved by 6, I hurt you by 6 theta. So what does all this mean? It means that at the end of the day, we get surplus equal to 6 minus 6 theta, okay? Because we get the wrong method, 14 minus 8 is 6. And then, in addition, because I'm angry, I take it out on you, and so we lose an extra 6 theta. So we get 6 minus 6 theta. Now, let's compare that with the second organizational form, which is employment, okay? Suppose instead of having you as an independent contractor, I come to you and say, I'd like you to come and work for me for that evening. You're going to be my resident singer, okay? It's a little odd because we normally think of employment as being a continuing relationship, but I don't think it's complete use of language here to imagine that I just hired you to work for me for the evening. But you're not a singing company, you're just a hired hand. Okay, in that case, and I think this again accords with common usage, what that means is I get to decide what you do during the evening, you know, within limits. And this is very much what code suggested. So, okay, again, we'll fix the price I pay you in advance. This time it's just your wage. We get to the evening before the event, and we both realize there are these two methods, but now I tell you what to do. So I say, please sing, you know, you were hoping to sing Mozart, but I say, sorry, it's the Beatles. Okay? And basically, since the contract didn't say not the Beatles, you have to do it. Okay, so what will I choose at a fixed price? Obviously, I will maximize my value, which means I choose method 1 with these same numbers. Now, how do you feel about that? Again, applying the same methodology, you are disappointed that I didn't choose method 2. I could have been generous to you. Within the contract, none of us expects anything outside the contract, but within the contract, I could have been generous and choose method 2. And you would have been 2 monetary units better off. Your cost would have been 2 lower. So you're aggrieved by 2, and you hurt me by 2 theta. So what happens is we get surplus of 10 minus the dead weight loss at 2 theta. So we get 10 minus 2 theta instead of 6 minus 6 theta. Obviously, this is much better. Okay, so in this example, we find that actually the employment contract beats the independent contracting arrangement. And it beats it, basically, I mean, none of this is, you know, I don't want to claim that it's anything very surprising once you've understood the way it works. You look at these two methods, who cares more about them with these numbers? The answer is I do. I care because method 1 versus method 2 it's worth 6 to me. The difference for you is only 2. It's sort of rather natural. If I care more than you, I should get to choose. And that's what we're finding. That's what happens under employment. The wrinkle is there's also this aggrievement factor. But because you don't care very much, the aggrievement isn't going to be very high under employment either, whereas it's going to be very high on independent contracting. But the one big thing here, which is very important, is that Coasian bargaining would be a very bad way of doing business. So in the literature, I think you'll find that people haven't really explained why we bother to agree on anything before the night of the concert. Why don't we just wait until the night of the concert and agree on the songs you should sing, i.e. the method, and the price at the same time? If we did that, we would never bother with method 2 because it's inefficient. We just agree on method 1 and then we'd argue about the price. And according to Coase 1960, we'd reach a price of, say, 15, and that would be totally efficient. The new feature in what I'm describing is that it's not perfectly efficient to argue about the price the evening before the concert because of all this aggrievement. We want price there in order to reduce argument. Price is very contentious, and we want to agree on it back at date 0 when there was a competitive market to tell us what the right price is. So we actually want method 2 to be chosen. Well, this time round, employment gives the wrong answer. Under employment, I will, since I've agreed on your wage, the price, I will maximize my value, which means I'll go for method 1. You will be aggrieved by 10 minus 2. Your costs are 8 higher than if I'd been nice to you. So you'll hit me by 8 theta. So we'll get surplus of 10 minus 8 theta. Under independent contracting, you would choose the method. You'd minimize your cost. You choose method 2. We get surplus of 12, but I'm aggrieved by 20 minus 40, which is 6. And I hit you by 6 theta, so we get 12 minus 6 theta. But obviously 12 minus 6 theta is a lot bigger than 10 minus 8 theta. So this time round, independent contracting is better. And the reason is that with these numbers, you, as the seller, care more about the way the good is provided than I do. 20 minus 40 is 6 for me, 10 minus 2, 8 for you. And so you should get to choose it. And although I'll be a bit upset with your choice, I won't be as upset as you would be with my choice. Okay, so let me not bother with that. Let me go to this. Okay, so to a conclusion of this, which is, okay, these are toy examples, obviously, just some numbers, 2 methods in each case. That's very, very simplistic. But I think, and there's some important things missed out, apart from that, I'll mention one in a moment. But still, even with this very, very simple setup, we, I think, can make sense of this choice between doing a transaction in the marketplace and inside the firm. We've shown that sometimes it's better for me to employ you, which means I get to decide how you work. And sometimes it's better for you to be independent, which means you get to decide. Okay? And I think that is very much what Coase, even though he won't admit it, I'm sure, but I think it's what he was trying to get at. Now, if we compare this theory with Coase's theory, we see that basically what I've done is I've replaced haggling costs by agreement costs. Okay, I brought in psychology, he didn't have any psychology. But they're not really so different because they both have to do with not getting your way. The new feature I've introduced is that it's critical who gets to decide on the production method, right? In the case of employment, I get to decide, the employer, I the employer. In the case of independent contracting, you get to decide. We also have seen that even when I employ you, it's not as if there are no costs, transaction costs. There are agreement costs. You don't like it sometimes when I tell you to do a particular thing rather than another thing you would prefer. And you take it out on me a bit. But, you know, maybe you don't really care very much, so you don't take it out, reduce my pay very much. So there are sort of arguments or haggling or agreement costs or whatever you want to call them, both inside the firm and between firms, which I think is more realistic than what Coase described. Now, very importantly, in order to explain why we don't always do things inside a firm, I have not had to assume that people make mistakes when they're doing too much. Okay, we were able to do it without that. You know, sometimes independent contracting is better than employment. We got that, and we didn't